I had, though, was Annabelle did drive. So that's...
Yeah, she has the keys, for sure. Walk.
So, like, but there's still, like, what, 5 of them? Like, we can get the keys, Annabelle. Hi, Skylar.
Oh, hello, Zax.
Hi,
hey,
Bob.
Hey, Zax. Hey, Skylar.
Oh, hey, Bob.
Oh, wow, we're all introduced.
Well, Skylar, you came on to share something special with the class today.
Oh, yes, I did. See, well, I'm glad you used the class analogy, because this is a very educational show. Mm-hmm. It only talks about the real facts, the real stories, facts and logic.
Well, except for that part where at the very beginning of each episode it says the following episode is inspired by the possibility of fictional creatures. Did I say fictional? Oh, I don't know. They might be real or not, though.
It says that the debates are still happening.
Mm-hmm. The science isn't in yet. Do heckhounds exist? No.
It has to be true because Joe Nickel's in it. And anyway, just in case you don't understand what we're talking... Hold on, let me just introduce the show first. We'll get into this. Of course, we're talking about the wonderful Lost Tapes, which was on Animal Planet in 2008 to 2010.
Animal Planet. I believe that was the beginning of the dark times for Animal Planet.
This was when Animal Planet had a weird marketing campaign called Animal Planet Surprisingly Human for some reason, where they would have more shows oriented around people than animals. So it's like, dude, your whole thing was...
Yeah, you remember back, I don't know, maybe, Zax, you might be too young to remember this, but when I was a kid, like, genuinely you might be too young, because, well, when I was a kid, Animal Planet was genuinely, like, an educational... channel about animals.
Yeah.
And then it kind of became a little bit more loosey-goosey with it. And then it kind of became more reality TV.
Yeah.
And then it just became about people.
Like I said, Animal Planet.
Humans are animals. So by some very loose definition.
Sure.
Animal Planet's still on brand. I guess Animal Planet about humans is contrasting with all those channels that are exclusively long still frames of inanimate objects. The Rock channel, where we don't watch Dwayne Johnson, we watch stones and rocks and...
So, Lost Tapes is basically, if I give a quick rundown on things, it's just basically a quote-unquote found footage show where they claim to find these tapes of these things and just go, here's maybe this will prove these things exist. And it's
do they for sure claim that they found the footage, or is it okay,
it says the footage that you're seeing is a reenactment of footage they found.
Oh, okay.
So
I think that's basically what they're saying.
Here's my question. But why not just play the
because you can't put real death on television, Zax.
Oh, okay.
I mean, hang on Wikipedia. Take that with a grain of salt. Who knows who's editing the Wikipedia page? It says the program presents fictional found footage, and I'm
incorrect.
Are we sure it's fictional?
Listen, I've watched every episode of Lost Tapes, and I'll tell you it's very real. Anyway, listen, any show with Joe Nickel on it, it must be true.
Okay, you said that before, and I have to contest that. I love Joe Nickel as much as the next guy, but Joe Nickel does not support the thesis that you suggested.
I don't believe you. Anyway.
Every episode he shows up to just explain what
this
cryptid what the cryptid is in mythology.
In real life.
And he never says it's real.
Well, okay. Before we get into Joe Nickel, we watched this together just now, and now we're recording. Hello, but I have so many questions because, like, this weird found footage, whatever it is, it has a story. Like, it's not even, and then. This is the format of the show. We have, like, this story that's going to be with us for the next 20 minutes. And then they'll randomly break it to be like, hey, forget about those people now. Who needs them? Look at these weird historical pictures, and we're just going to say random sentences.
What it's doing, basically. Like, I get the idea of what they're going for, which is they're showing these things, like they're showing the footage and like, whoa, animal or whatever shows up, and they're thinking, wow, the people at home must not know what's going on. Here, let us tell us some facts about the creature so they know the severity of the situation these people are in. All right, back to the thing.
But they're not, okay, but they do a bad job if that's what they're trying to do.
And also, what's the point of telling us facts about fictional creatures?
It's not fictional, Bob.
I don't give a crap what a hippogriff likes to eat.
Listen, obviously, this show isn't for you because you have a closed mind.
Me and Joe Nickel.
Anyway, all I'm saying is, they don't do a bad job. If you're really, like, the show is not great, but if you read what they're saying about everything, it is just telling you, like, facts about the mythology of the creature, and all of it's technically, all right, well, it's full, like, 100%, like, real talk here. Yeah, not real, sure. But what? They're saying... Okay, don't... You're the one... All right. Anyway. But what they're saying is, like, real stuff from, like, the stuff that cultivated the legend of the creature they're talking about. So, like, it is telling you about the creature. Like, the
creature that doesn't exist.
Whatever. Listen, I'm talking about the myth here. I'm not talking about the creature, basically. The myth exists because it is a myth told.
Yeah, but this is Animal Planet.
Alright.
Not myth.
Surprisingly human.
Surprisingly human.
Anyway, I feel like we should probably get to the episode in hand.
This is enough backstory.
We watched the last episode of season 1, which is about Hellhounds.
But don't worry. This show has no overarching story, so you can watch it in literally any order, and it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's not gonna go, you remember the Koopa Chabra episode? Well, he's here, you must...
Chupacabra?
Whatever, I'm white. Anyway. Anyway.
Okay, so, yeah, if you like goth girls, this is it for you. Although, I don't know, actually.
No, this is they kiss, dude.
They don't...
No, hold the phone. Well, first of all, they barely
kiss,
and I feel like the actresses who were doing it were not invested even a little bit. Like, they saw it in the script, and they were like, "Okay, come here, sis," because like there was nothing going on there.
The director just wanted a big boobed
goth GF.
Goth GF.
And he got 4 of them.
And he got, well...
No, Sev counts as
I do
Sev
feel
counts
like
as a goth girl.
They did, like, hit the different tick marks of types of goth girlfriends.
They did.
You have the blonde pastel hair. She makes good faces, and she's always like, ooh. And then there's the other girl with jet black pigtails. And then you have the leader.
Takes all that way too seriously, but doesn't take the actual danger that she's in seriously enough.
Yeah, and then you have the other one who is basically one who doesn't seem as goth, but is like super like
secretly
dark,
super into it.
Yeah, which we'll get into that.
Knows everything.
Which we'll get into that in a site later.
So we're gonna start this. I gotta say though, like, I think this was. If I was ever considering joining a coven, if this is what it's involved, I think I'll pass.
I mean...
Because, like...
You're telling me...
Think about all the cool Severin dudes that you...
Dude, you're telling me you don't want to see that man and his beautiful eye reactions to everything that happens in this episode?
wonder what Summer was doing.
Okay,
so before we talk more about him, we'll get to it. Episode opens up, like, you know, hard open. Like, it does its... First off, Lost Tapes, great intro. If you haven't seen it, I 100% recommend at least YouTubing the intro of Lost Tapes, because it's a trip.
You can YouTube the episode?
That's true. I'm just saying, if you don't feel like watching the entire episode, at least the one thing I'm telling you about this, the warning beforehand and the intro, must-see television.
Yeah, the warning says... The following footage was inspired by the possibility of these creatures, which it gives them so much wiggle room. I mean, that is basically how you can describe any story.
Yeah, and my favorite part is, it reminds me of that REM song, where it goes, I think I thought I saw you try, which is like, it reminds me of that because it's such a,
there's so many layers of abstraction.
Yeah, there's so much layers of abstraction that it basically, you're saying so much to literally say nothing. Because, like, you're just saying, like, maybe if it happens, this could bend the way it did.
Because I could just come in here and be like, you know, I bet someone out of the 7 billion people is probably Superman.
If it happened. Like I said, so you have this intro, and you have all this stuff. And one of my favorite parts is, like, it does the intro, and, like, the way it ends is, like, the announcer in his, like, intense voice goes, do you believe? And it's like, okay, I get it. I get what you're going for. So then this hard cut into, like, wolves walking in a forest or whatever. There's text on screen. It's describing what a Hellhound is. And, like, basically, it's talking about, like, in the medieval times, there was this crazy...
By the way, you guys don't actually have to say Hellhound.
Oh. See, I'm new here. Anyway, see, you're hazing the new kid, just like how they haze the new kid in this episode. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, wait. Real talk though, Bob, you're such an Angelique.
Angelique?
Whatever her name was.
I think it was just, isn't it just like, whatever. Anyway,
it was really extra
it was like,
goth.
if you had a goth sim, this is what you named her. So it has the intro. It cuts hard to, like, wolves walking in this forest. There's text on screen describing what the Hellhound is. And it talks about, like, there was this thunderstorm in, like, whatever, England. And then basically it just says, so everyone was like, oh man, big thunderstorm. They run to church. They're like, hey God, can you slow down? I'm kind of scared. And then out of nowhere, this black dog just rolls up and yeets the entire church. Like, 2 people die, a bunch of people get burned. Like...
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that.
Like, he just walks up.
It's a short show, but they cram a lot of
So
really
much
dumb things in it.
Which is why normally in these types of things I would be like, oh, we're gonna record right after this. I don't really need to write down stuff. But in this, I'm like, no, I need to write stuff down because it's 19 minutes, but they're putting like an hour worth of content into this. So you need to understand what's going on.
And you don't really get any time to
process
anything.
Because, well, I mean, if they gave you time to process it, it would occur to you how stupid it is.
Yeah. So this dog walks in, yeets this entire church up, just burns it, whatever, like a black metal band in Norway, just burning the church down.
Yeah.
Freaking, and then it's like, boom, cut back, and then it's like, whoa, and then we cut to like, like you said, there's these just 3 goth girls and this dude, and they introduce all the people. I don't remember much of the names. I remember Severin because it's a dumb name, and his real name was Steve.
They introduce them by having them appear on screen, and then they have their names appear at the very bottom.
And the announcer says it.
The announcer says it. And the guy, I don't remember any of the girls' names except for...
Nora.
Nope, any of them. Yeah, Nora, and then I don't remember who the main girl was. It starts with an A. Annabelle. It was Annabelle. We said she had the most satanic, obviously goth girl name possible.
All right, actually, Annabelle. I have it right here.
Okay.
Because I went back to the thing to look. So you have Ophelia, who's the blonde girl.
Okay.
Whose real name is Carolyn Kirkpatrick. You have Severin, which his real name is Steve McCullough. Yeah. And then you have Annabelle Lilith, whose real name is Annie Larson.
Oh, that's the main girl.
Yeah.
What's her last name?
Larson.
Oh, so she just goes by Annabelle.
Yeah. See, it's like Ophelia, Luna, whose name is Tiffany Short, actually, and then like you said, Severin. So it opens up. The guy is like, these are the people who are in the car right now, and they're going to pick up this new member of their goth group, because there's just goth groups and there's initiation processes, I guess. So it opens up like that.
And let's talk about this for a second. So you mentioned Ophelia and Luna. They have Nora. Her name's Nora. They sit with her in English class.
So they're like, they're actually already on the way to pick up this girl. I guess they brought it up earlier, and the girl is like, what is about this girl anyway? And she's like, she sits next to us in English class. She's nice, and she was in a goth group in her old town, whatever. Which is making me think, what made her leave town? Look at what happens here. Maybe I understand now.
Yeah.
So now they go, and here's something too, though. Okay, so now we just mentioned Ophelia and Luna.
Yes.
No, Nora. But it is Severin, some random dude, who goes up to the door and is like, hey, Nora, we haven't met before, but I'm going to escort you to this car with a bunch of other people.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if someone other than New Girl answers the door. New Girl's dad answers the door.
Yeah.
It says, hi, can I help you? Hi, I'm here to pick up your daughter. Hey, there's this scrawny-looking dude who's here to pick you up. She looks from up the stairs. Yeah, I don't know him, Dad.
Who's this Gerard Way looking dude?
Yeah.
But no, if in the background.
Yeah, definitely Dad would reference Gerard Way.
He's a really cool
Boomer
dad.
father is
He's
like,
really
I'm a big
cool
Gerard Way fan.
Black Parade's his favorite album. So if you actually hear in the background, they're making fun of him, because I think they're also making fun of this guy, because they're like, look at him looking all nervous. So I think they probably purposely sent him up there.
Yeah.
So
because that's the one thing we don't. I mean, it's only 20 minutes. We don't get to know a lot about these people, but we know that Annabelle loves to mess with people.
Yeah.
She just lives for it.
Freaking.
Why would you make that person your leader?
Because those are the type of personalities that always end up calling themselves a leader, and no one questions them. Anyway, what I'm saying is, so they send him up here. Nora opens the door. Steve, aka Severin, real horny about this. He's all like, oh girl, whoa. It's like, dude, you're hanging out with three girls.
I've met a woman.
Yeah, you're hanging out with these three other
girls.
girls.
You hang out with 3 hot girls. Why?
And here's just another one. It should just be like, oh, hi.
2 of them kind of like you.
At least 2.
I can't speak for Annabelle because she's horrible to everyone.
Yeah. So
it could be the kind of deal where it's like, ooh, if you think I'm mean, I'll be even meaner to the people that I love.
Yeah. Keep your enemies closer, or whatever.
Yeah, your enemies close, and your enemies even closer.
Yeah.
Just get them closer and closer.
Before we actually get to the house, there's a sweet burn by our girl Annabelle here calling Nora the Explorer. Just wanted to mention that.
She's like, Nora, she better be great. Sounds like Nora the Explorer.
What she calls her Nora the Explorer in the car, and then when they meet for the first time, she calls her Dora. And then Nora's like, it's Nora.
I think that's kind of it for it, isn't it?
I think that's the last time it gets brought up.
That's it.
I mean, they were like, okay, character established. No need to follow up on that at all.
They'll get it.
Okay, so
they pick her up.
They pick her up, and
they get in the car.
Goes through and then we already saw their names at the dumb label, but I guess the people making the show realized that we were like, well, they have dumb goth names. So he introduces himself to her, and he's like,
"Hi, I'm Steve."
Severin.
No,
I mean, like legally, I'm Steve. But, like, I'm Severin in the goth community, and that's how that's what I'm known as. And she's just like, oh, I'm Satan's concubine. And he's like, whoa.
And he's like,
what?
Really? He's like excited by that, cause like,
and she's like,
oh, she could be my concubine. Satan and Severin are similar. And then she's like, no.
And, like, as far as the dark circles go, okay, like, Annabelle's wearing this, like, Morticia Addams getup. And, like, the other two girls are wearing, like, these, like, clothes. They just, like, vampire couture, I guess, is the best way I can put their nonsense. Nora's in here.
That sounds like an amazing, like, strip mall... I don't know what to describe that.
I mean, it's basically. I'm sure it's a section in Hot Topic. Like,
sure,
let's
yeah.
be real. So, like, and now Nora shows up in jeans and a t-shirt,
in a peace sign heart t-shirt.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, really? Like, and then she's like, no. So, like, at this point, Nora's just, like, looking to hang out. She's like, yeah, like, I'm into, like, the goth, like, I'll go to a goth bar and kick it. Yeah. But then Annabelle is like, nah, fam, we're gonna hang out at the cemetery and
we gotta initiate you.
Annabelle, you don't even know this girl.
Yeah.
They don't even know this girl. They have English with her, and we're just gonna bring her, like, really?
Like obviously, like, the show's trying to make it like, obviously these are goths, but, like, they're just chilling out. They're just hanging out. They're not really doing anything special. And they all have sorts of sense of humor about it, except for Annabelle. For some reason, she takes it way too seriously.
Yeah.
She's like, we have to initiate you.
And,
Yeah.
like, and the thing is, too, and this is something that, like, while we're watching, none of us could agree on, because they keep, this is part of the problem with their vague thing. They don't want to commit to anything, be it, is this fictional or not. They don't even want to commit to their fake story in the thing, because it's like, at some point, Annabelle is pranking everybody, but then other times, she's doing this in earnest. So, like, I don't know what the plan was or why we're at the cemetery.
So,
yeah.
So, actually, I remember, I don't know if you missed this or whatever, but at the beginning of the episode, they were going to go to the cemetery the whole time. Everyone knew that they were going to go to the cemetery.
Except for Nora.
Except for
Nora. What's New Girl's name again?
Nora. Nora the Explorer. Anyway.
Right.
So, all this is, like, going
She's somehow
down.
the least memorable character.
And then it cuts away from the introducing after the Nora the Explorer burn, and then Joe Nichols shows up, says some things about the Hellhound, whatever, and we come back. So they're driving, and they're like, whatever, we're going to the cemetery. But then they blindfold Nora, and it's like, you don't get to see until I get to tell you when you see.
Yeah.
So while this is happening...
Hi, by the way, just a small PSA, I didn't think I needed to say this, but if you're ever invited somewhere and then they immediately blindfold you and prevent you from knowing where you're going, and also you don't know them very well...
Don't.
Especially if there's a leader of the group who you don't know, but you've been invited in by people who quite easily could just be a small cult.
Yeah. They basically are.
You know, that is funny. I didn't really think about that. But I guess it's
not a good, not good.
It's not a gregreat cult, though, because everybody questions Annabelle every step of the way.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
yeah.
Like,
nobody thinks she should be leader.
She just filibustered her way into being the leader.
So, like, yeah, so they get in the car, and she gets blindfolded. And this is actually way more important to the story than you would think of. Like, more important to the story than seeing someone get blindfolded that you would think. You would just think, like, oh, it's weird, they don't know where they're going. No. What happens is, now they go to the cutaway. In the cutaway, before I brought the blindfold up, they describe how, if you look at the thing 3 times, you're dead. You're done.
The Hellhound.
Yeah, the Hellhound, my bad. Yeah, if you look at the Hellhound, you're dead. Done. Dunzo, you're dead. Gone. So, like, it's like, oh, man. Don't look at him. Just don't look at him. It's like, okay, cool. And we cut back. She's blindfolded in the car. It's like, okay. And then out of nowhere, they get to the cemetery, and this Rottweiler decides just to hop up on the car with really great, effectively red eyes, I'll tell you.
Very spooky.
Barking and freaking out on the windshield. And everyone's like, it's a dog!
I'd like to just real quick throw out here that the Wikipedia says that this is actually the first episode in the entire show where you get a clear view of the monster.
Yes. And that's because it's a dog.
I mean, the first season ends with this episode, which means they spent the first
13 episodes not looking at them.
The first 13 episodes just going, and swinging the camera around.
All right, so I'll give you a quick thing. Episode 1, you don't see it at all, basically. Because I remember this from my head. Number 2 is Bigfoot.
You remember things from your head?
Yes. I use my head to remember. The monster of Monterey, you see a fin. The swamp creature is just the Bigfoot episode again, but you're in the swamp.
That's how you know that's scary.
You got the Death Raptor, which the whole story is more about a dude more than the thing. That's a weird episode.
I like the idea of it being like, you're going to be terrified by this monster, but meanwhile it's just Bill getting arrested for tax fraud.
So they go to these woods, and this is for the initiation. To the cemetery for the initiation.
So, and this, like I said, dog hops up on the car. Rah! Everyone sees the dog except for Nora. I was keeping track during the episode, so everyone else 1, Nora 0. So they get there, and then they set up in front of this gravestone. They got candles. They got a chalice. They got fake blood. They got crosses. The whole goth 9 yards.
I know I just watched this, and I am hearing you describe it and not seeing it again, but I am getting so scared.
So they sit down, and then cut into more information. This is one of my favorite information cutaways, because then it's like, let's tell people about the Hellhound in different parts of the areas. You got what they call the Hellhound in different areas, and in Latin, it's just the black dog.
Yeah, well,
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, have you ever seen a black dog?
Yeah, I had one.
Well, that was the other thing too. That wasn't the other fact. Was just that like everybody has
we'll see something different. See a different dog,
a
different type of dog.
And I mean, that's literally that's true of anything that isn't real.
And stuff that's real. I see colors different than you.
If I ask you to imagine, yeah, sure, that's true. But like, if I ask you to imagine a dog, we are almost certainly going to imagine different things.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, for sure.
Like, there's no way for us to even check. Except for, like, that we saw exactly the same thing. So even if I asked you to imagine a dog and we both thought of golden retrievers, we're probably still thinking of different images of a golden retriever. Yeah,
because it talks about 2 different cases of the Hellhound in America. You got one in Marion, Kentucky. I'm going to read verbatim of this because this is just so funny for me. Baker Hollow Road Cemetery is said to have a phantom guardian dog. This beast allegedly has yellow eyes and silently trails any visitors. Like...
I don't know how to tell you guys this without scaring you, but animals exist.
That's next. You're gonna tell me that dogs are real.
So when you go to a place near, say, wilderness at night, you may not be as alone as you think.
Yeah, but what about it's a dog though. It's a dog.
There's no 4-legged furry creatures in the woods.
No, they all stand up and they're all Bigfoot.
Whole herds of Bigfoots are walking.
Big feet walking around.
Big feet walking through the forest, but not one wolf or coyote or fox or dog or cat or big cat or bobcat.
Can we agree?
Or deer that's just in the dark.
Can we just agree that it's big feet,
or
not
a possum
Bigfoots?
Or a raccoon? Or even just a child.
The Woods Children. That's the next episode.
The Woods Children.
No, but yeah, like, so they do that, and then they're like, and then there's this one in Ohio where packs of large red and black ghost dogs run around through the haunted cemetery. And then it cuts to this lady going like, oh man, I'm the grounds worker here, and if you look in the mausoleum, you can see the dogs. It's just like, yo, what is going on? This is like you said, it's 19 minutes, like without the commercials. That would happen in the original broadcast, and it's such a fever dream.
So they're all gathered around the little picnic table at the cemetery.
Yeah, and then she makes her drink
and they got a knife.
Blood.
Yeah, so she's still blindfolded sitting there, and like Annabelle is saying this weird prayer and stuff, and like the other people, this is something, I don't know if this was just bad acting or what this was, but everyone else was kind of like falling behind.
So like, huh?
Like she was saying, like she would say like, and we are here, they'd be like, here. Like they try to like jump in, like if they were all supposed to clearly be doing it, but they didn't know words. And then, but here's the other thing. Annabelle, like again, they say like she's claiming that this is a book to, I don't know, do necromancy or whatever they're trying to do out here for this initiation. But then she's like, so they don't know. They think that this is real. They don't know it's a prank. We don't know if she's pranking them or if she's in earnest. But either way, Annabelle, you need a new hobby. Because apparently you filled in this book all by yourself. They don't even know what you're doing.
I mean,
here's the thing. Oh.
It's either a goof or it's not. And either way, you need a new hobby because both of them are sad.
Either way, but the narrator does specify that she has this plan to be a joke the whole time. The other people just don't know.
Right, so it's a goof 'em up on the new person and on everyone else.
Yeah, and also,
good one.
The book, from what I understood from watching it and what it's explained, unless I'm making this up in my head, is a real book, and she's just reading from it. It's one of those things where it's like, I'd bring this into it. You go to whatever, and a dude opens up a Bible and reads a certain thing. You're not going to automatically know everything in the Bible, you know what I mean? So probably it's one of those things where it's like, it's a thing they really don't care about, and she's like, Lord, blood, demon, Satan, like whatever.
That's how they do it.
Yeah. So, and then she makes her drink the fake blood, and then as this happens, everyone's like, "Whoa!" So she's getting the fake blood ready, and then the dog shows up again. So that means everyone, once again, 2, Nora still has the blindfold on. 0, everyone's freaking out. Nora's sitting down, just like, "What's going on?" She's just sitting there, unfazed, like, huh, what are you guys screaming about? I can't see, so I don't know. So then everyone's like freaking out, and everyone's like, all right, we should just go. And then Annabelle's like, no, do you want to be eaten or thrown out of the cult or whatever? And it's like,
oh yeah, and I was just like, let's go. Like, now, the only problem that I had though was Annabelle did drive, so that's
she has the keys for sure. Walk.
So, like, but there's still, like, what, 5 of them? Like, we can get the keys.
We can beat you up.
Annabelle.
And 3 of us are girls, so they can hit you. 7 would just stand back and take the keys. So.
I mean, they don't have to, like, get that physical, but, like, they can hold, one of them can hold her. She's like, And, or I guess more accurately, she'd be like, and then they just like reach into her pocket, get the key. That's gone.
Okay. Oh Jesus! I also just want to mention, I guess another PSA. There's a lot of PSAs in this episode.
2.
That's a lot more than I thought we were gonna do. Goth doesn't equal Satanist.
Yeah,
I guess we should clarify that, but like in this episode,
if you were just listening to this like completely blind, not seeing this episode, which I'm guessing people are going to, they're gonna be like, of course. But you watch this thing and it's like,
or they'll be thinking, oh, these idiots don't even realize there's a difference. No, we recognize there's a difference.
This show doesn't.
Yeah.
Because this show is made for people who watch Animal Planet, which was like 10-year-old.
I used to watch Animal Planet when it was good.
So this is 2008. There were still good things on Animal Planet in 2008. It's just this was like the 9 o'clock Animal Planet show. Like I'd be
prime time.
Yeah. So I'd be sitting there going like, oh man. Oh, look at this vet who's doing this crazy surgery on that dog. That's crazy. Dog's okay? Awesome. Oh, man, here's Cats 101. Man, I want to learn how this cat grows up. That's cool. All right, here's a Hellhound killing people.
Yeah. Inspired by the possibility of their existence.
So okay, so she's like, you're gonna get eaten or you're gonna leave the
And everyone's like, all right, I'm gonna go. I guess I'm just gonna sit back down.
And when they sit back down, I was so confused. But meanwhile, notice this: Nora has not budged. Nora hasn't said a word. Nora's just sitting there blindfolded, like, "Hun, you still have ears, right?" Like,
you hear them freaking out. Like,
she's just sitting there, like, "Are we gonna get this done, or?"
Like,
the Dark One protects me.
You know what? Fair. That's more fair than I think people are gonna realize. Anyway, so yeah, that happens, and then they get up, and then she's like, welcome, sister, and they do the big smooch. Best part of the episode. Just kidding. Yeah. I don't think it wasn't that great, but
it was boring.
Yeah, it wasn't. When I think about two goth girls kissing, this is not it. Anyway, during the ceremony, when they see the dog, when they are all freaking out and the dog disappears, they go to where the dog was. There's ash on the ground. A blonde-haired girl touches the ash, burns her hand, scorched earth, all that. So, like, wherever the dog shows up, I guess it burns things, because it's hell. And then Joe Nickel comes in and is like, they're very closely associated with burning, brimstone, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, thanks, Joe. Anyway, so they're all like, yeah, let's go home. And I guess they're just hanging out, because then it cuts to Severin and Nora just sitting down. And he's like, dude, I'm sorry, I didn't know this is how it's gonna happen. And she's like, the dog! How many times did you see the dog? And he's like, what? And she's like, you need to tell me, where's the dog? Like, how many times have you seen the dog? And he's like, twice. And she's like, don't look at him again. Keep your eyes closed. Don't look at him. And he's like, what do you talk? As he's saying that, dog runs in. Roar, roar, roar. And then she's like, run. And then it's the most pathetic running scene I think I've ever seen in anything.
So at this point, the show's kind of like, oh, see that? She knows more than she's letting on.
Yeah.
But, like, if she knows that, like, so, okay, everyone is seeing the dog and freaking out. She knows that the dog is there. Mm-hmm. She's not freaking out because I guess she realizes, she's got her eyes closed, so she's recognizing, like, I'm safe. But she doesn't have the, I don't even want to say insight. She doesn't have the empathy to say, hey, I know what's going on. Close your eyes. She doesn't care at all.
But I guess my thing is, it's not even so much, it doesn't even have to do with her knowledge, though. She could literally just be like, hey, guys, like, what's going on? Is everyone okay?
No.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. She's calm because she does know what's going on. She just doesn't care. A normal human would speak in that moment, either to say, stop looking at the dog, you're gonna get killed in a minute here, or she would at least say, like, if she didn't know what was going on, she'd say, hey, what's going on? But no, she's just an amoral, just like,
because it's not an issue of her knowing what's going on or not. My issue is just, like, you wanted to be friends with these people, right?
So I have a theory that I don't know if it's going to explain well about how this is going to go, but I want to get to, like, the end of the episode more to, like, explain it, because I have...
Okay.
I've seen this episode probably 30 times now. So I've come up with a theory in my head with all the information given and seeing it all the time. We're almost at the end anyway. So they run to this place and the dogs run up behind them and she's like, don't look back, keep your eyes closed, don't look at the dog. And the dog guy's like, what? And she's like, just don't look at him. And he's like, okay. And then they dog bark. Dog leaves to go mess with her friends now. So they get up to run to her friends, and then the girl's like, the dog again. And Nora's like, have you seen the dog? Like, did you look at the dog? And she's like, yeah, I saw the dog. He was coming after me. She's like, how many times did you see the dog? And they're like, oh, we saw her 3 times. She's like, you're dead. That's basically what happened. She's like, you're gonna die. And everyone's like,
you're done. Yeah.
She's like, everyone else is like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean?
What does that mean? Yeah.
And then she's like, no, you're done. You're dead. Like, if you see the dog 3 times, you're gonna die. And then Annabelle is like, hey, we're leaving. This is your fault.
You're a lamer. Why did we even bring you? And she's, and it's like, she's been sitting in basically silence. Like, I don't know how you could blame her for any of this.
But okay, wait. The dog did show up while they were in the car, and like they stopped driving. They were like, it's a dog. It was like on the window and stuff. Uh-huh. And Nora said words around that time and a little bit after, and she never thought to. She never. Didn't she say like a little bit in the car? Like,
in the car during the dog attack, she was completely silent the whole time, and then when they got it, she didn't talk again till the setup of the ceremony.
Do you think it's possible that maybe they only had the actress for a little bit, and so instead of filming the car ride with her, they just put what's it called, a blindfold on, and then just had a dummy that looks like her?
I'm gonna say no for
in the car.
I'm gonna say no.
I mean, obviously we saw her breathing and walking around, but I
wasn't gonna say that. I'm
just thinking maybe it was a very, very alive dummy.
I was gonna say one, they absolutely did not have the budget to do that, or the show
get
would
a
be
dummy.
You're
right. You know,
also,
you don't have the budget for a dummy.
Like I said, the theory I have, I think it's something they're gonna try to do because they're gonna be like, whoa, because they did really allude to this. So whatever. So they go, whoa. Did you look at the dog? Yeah, whatever, you're gonna die. Your fault. So they all get back to the car. And they're in the car, they're driving, and then Nora's like, you're gonna die. Like, me and Severin only saw him twice, or Severin only saw it twice. I didn't see him at all, because I kept my eyes closed. So me and Severin are fine. She turns around, and she's like, you're all out.
Oh, yeah. She's still more concerned about the group and their membership rather than the fact that they're all. It's like, fine, I would happily be out if it meant that I lived to see tomorrow.
Yeah, so she's like, you're all out. And because she's staring at the people in the back not watching, she drives into oncoming traffic, car crash, camera cuts, camera turns back on with the best camera broken screen effect I've seen in a television show.
Yeah, it's literally just like a picture, a transparent
It's a PNG over the footage.
Yeah, over the footage. Like
broken glass PNG, you'll probably find it.
Yeah, just Google that. I swear I almost saw the Shutterstock watermark in the show. In the
corner, yeah. So, and then Nora's alive. Bloody arm, but alive. And she looks up and she's like, everyone else is dead. And she's like, I knew that was going to happen, basically. And she's like, Sven or whatever. Severin. And she's like...
Yeah, Sven is a good real name.
So what turns out is that during the time where she told him to keep his eyes closed, he obviously looked at the dog because he's now dead now. So she gets up and she's walking away. And then out of nowhere, here comes the puppy walking up next to her, and they walk out of frame. So here's where my theory comes in. The announcer, or the narrator, comes in and says, the bodies of all these guys were found. Nora was never enrolled in that school.
Yeah.
And they knew her in her English class. She's demon. She's a demon. She's 100% with Satan. So that's what I'm saying. Like, she's probably 100% fine with freaking these other people dying. She probably just took a liking to Severin, which is why she was gonna like try to protect him, but like kind of like whatever. Like she's gonna put as much efforts as a demon would.
Though I gotta say though, like it still doesn't make any sense that she would act like that. Like, if you're trying to convince them you're not a demon, why would you act like a demon?
She didn't, really.
Well,
she didn't act like anything. She acted like she wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, but maybe that could also be a thing. You hear a dog bark. Like,
she knows what's going on because she's a demon.
Okay, actually.
And if she was trying to convince them she wasn't a demon, she'd be like, what's going on? Somebody, like, are we being attacked? Like, asking questions or at least shivering in her seat?
So I just cheated a little bit to look back at the dog showing up to the scene. Nora did try to do something.
Oh, did she?
She's trying to take off her blindfold. Annabelle's not letting her.
What?
Yeah, that's happening. Yeah, I just looked back at it.
Annabelle? That makes even less sense.
Because she's like, no, you keep that. No, because she's like, you keep it on. We're doing this ceremony. Like, this is... So she's basically doing what she was doing to everyone else.
So this is happening during the dog attack?
Yes. Well, the dog doesn't attack.
So Annabelle is going...
Annabelle also didn't freak out, actually. She freaked out less than Nora. Actually, and Nora freaked out more than her.
What is wrong? So you're... Okay, so Annabelle is now the focus of my questions. Specifically, what? What? Why is she so chill about it?
Well, because she's probably just sitting there going, oh, it's a dog, whatever. Stop freaking out about it. We're doing this.
I guess. I mean...
That's probably what she's doing. Like, I would probably be the same. Honestly, if a dog's barking at us, I'd probably be the same way. Like, all right, guys, calm down. It's a dog.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, why would you be focused on whether or not this person takes off their blindfold?
Well, because she's trying to do this initiation.
Instead of trying to tell all your friends to shut the heck up.
Well, she did both. She was like, hey,
that's what makes her a leader. That's what makes her a leader.
So, all this stuff, and then it's like, the narrator, like I said before, the narrator's like, Nora didn't exist. No one was like, Nora. And then they also said they found the ash piles that was still burning, but they didn't find any evidence of a dog. So, like, whatever.
I don't know why, like, okay, let's just imagine for a second that this is a true story.
Yes.
Okay? Mm-hmm. And I know that's a very,
why wouldn't this be a big
ask. Okay? So, what's the evidence they found? Okay, so, a human being, 4 human beings get in a car and drive somewhere, and they're gonna go hang out. They're high schoolers, and then later they're all gone and burning ash piles are found. Well, why would anyone look for evidence of a dog?
Well, here's the thing. It's dumb. I don't remember if they explicitly said it here, but they say it in a lot of the other episodes. This is supposed to be recovered footage, so there also would say, like, this is recovered by authorities.
I was under the impression the show claims that these are true stories, but not necessarily that they had footage, and
there's like they say these are their tapes, like this is what was found.
Yeah, I guess they do say that. What?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Of like, if this was real, they would be looking for a dog because they found the footage and like there must be a dog.
Why was this on Animal Planet?
That, you know what? Now I can agree with you. This is such like a History Channel aliens block show.
I mean, Animal Planet and History Channel were both also like History Channel was also good at a certain point. Well, maybe not good, but at the very least it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Like, cause Bob, like 100%, I'm with you where a lot of this doesn't make sense. I'm just trying to let you know what rules this thing is trying to set up, and like, so if this thing is real, we have to follow its rules.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, to me it just seems so bizarre that someone would pitch a TV show and the premise of the show is we have buttloads of footage
that we found
that we can't show you. Like, we're constantly finding footage.
Well, alright, I think
like,
more what it is.
I feel like that, before I've even watched a frame of the show, that buggers belief.
Well, I think
what like, even if I was the kind of gullible person who might believe that it was real.
You know what it might be is they say they found the footage and they're recreating it. Because like I said, I don't think you're really allowed to show real death on
Sure, yeah, no, that would be a snuff film.
And that pretty much every episode of Lost Tapes, spoiler alert, has at least one person dying.
Yeah.
So,
but like the effects are never good.
No,
or
they're not
anything,
good.
So you're not. If you're like, oh, I don't like gory things, like
you're fine.
You're fine. It was on Animal Planet.
Listen, the shows where the vets did surgery were more gory than this.
Well, yeah, I mean that's surgery.
Yeah, but like, so like that's what I'm saying is, I'm 100% just trying to get into the mindset of what the show is trying to be, and it's probably. Here, we found these are footage that were found and now we have uncovered from investigations or whatever the hell they want to say, and we're recreating them because we're not allowed to disclose the actual stuff of people dying on like live TV when it's not like, because like if someone dies,
it just seems baffling to me. Like, I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of the potential audience member, right? Like I'm imagining we're show executives at Animal Planet and someone pitches this as a show. And my first question is, okay, so like I'm Karen, I'm Stacy, I'm whatever. I'm trying to think of I'm Janet, okay? Janet is watching this show.
Yes.
On TV.
Yes.
In the middle of the night. And our target audience, Janet, is supposed to believe that this is true.
I don't know if that could be a part
or
of
at the very least entertain the possibility that it's true.
Honestly,
and in order to entertain that possibility, for Janet to do that, she's gonna have to believe that until the year 2008, no footage existed, or the footage that existed was super bad and not cut and dry. But then some production company received tapes, and then they recreated those tapes and put that on TV, and the recreations make it seem really cut and dried that something spooky happened.
So here's what I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to think the same way you are, and here's where I'm thinking they're doing. Because I don't think the production company was only going after the people who could entertain or think this is real.
Who else?
I think they were also going for people who just like scary things and just want to be entertained by it.
Is that?
I'm 100%, because
No. I don't understand this. So they like scary things, and like the way that you would watch a found footage film.
Yeah, I'm not saying they did a great job at it. I also remember when this thing was up on like TV. Remember when you go on the TV guide and it'll tell you like the genre of the show? It wasn't like on other shows that would have like actual footage of stuff that it had like its own thing. This was labeled under horror entertainment.
I guess that's true.
Horror entertainment and thriller.
I don't like Animal Planet anymore. What's on Animal Planet now?
A show where people build big fish tanks.
That's, I guess, a little bit better.
That's the and there's that good show about that one vet up in the mountains. I sometimes watch that one. Anyway, but yeah, Lost Tapes is quite the trip, but I will give the producers some credit, I guess. It was actually pretty popular for whatever reason.
I was just going to say, I'm looking at the history of Animal Planet now. It looks like in 2008, they went through this, rebranding effort to try to revamp. And they wanted to go for more, like, animals as characters thing, which is why, like, Meerkat Manor was a thing.
Oh, that was fun.
And,
I remember that.
Right? I hated Meerkat Manor. And then they started going towards reality TV, and then like just kind of randomly weird stuff, like like Lost Tapes. And then I guess in 2018 they went through another rebranding effort, and it looks like they're trying to go back.
Yeah, they're going back. Yeah,
that's good. I like that.
Also, I want to send a link, and I guess Zach, you can decide if you want to put this in the video or not. But on the Wikipedia, there's an external link to the Lost Tapes website. This is what the Lost Tapes website is now.
Oh, there was a website. It's gone now? Wait, what? Oh.
That's more... Oh. I think that's more spooky than the actual show.
Lil Z, you seen this?
Yeah, it looks like code or hacker type.
Oh my gosh. The glitch just typed.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, to give the credit where credit is due, Lost Tapes did, like, from what I remember, decently well. It was a fan favorite show for whatever reason. It had a bunch of, I remember, Animal Planet used to run Lost Tapes top 10s.
That's weird. On IMDb, it's got a 6.1.
I mean, yeah, but like...
Also, it says 2008 to, and then a question mark.
Yeah, it ended in...
Like it's ongoing.
It ended in 2010. It was 3 seasons that they did 3 seasons in 2 years.
Oh, and then they did a Mega Anaconda thing, I think, in 2013, which for some reason on IMDb is listed as a Magaconda. Yeah. Which might be more horrifying than a Mega Anaconda.
So,
a Magaconda?
So, a fun little thing here. The narrator you hear is Rick Robles or whatever. He is most known for playing who was an actor in Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter.
Really?
His known for has nothing about Lost Tapes.
Well, yeah.
Which, I don't know, man. Like I said,
that's cool. I guess I'm glad he has. I hope he's still getting work.
I don't see anything within this.
Well, Alone the Beast TV series, he's the narrator in 2020. What is that? That better not be on Animal Planet.
I think that's another...
It's on History.
It's another...
Oh, but it's a game show.
3 Changers, yeah.
We should totally watch that sometime.
I'll think about that one.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Annabelle, you need to reevaluate your life choices. Lost Tapes, maybe can be a little less vague.
We should just. I'm glad it's dead.
I wish it came back.
But we're gonna definitely talk about more of these. Skylar's getting a list of his favorites. He's gonna keep telling us about them. And thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me. And thank you guys for listening. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe because we all need